All right, so are you ready to dive into some serious cricket talk?
Always ready for some cricket.
Okay, good. Because today we're going to tackle a debate that's got the whole world of Pakistani cricket buzzing.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So picture this, right? You've got this team just absolutely stacked with legendary players, I mean superstars, but they never quite managed to grab that big win, that major ICC tournament victory.
I think I know where this is going.
You probably do, but how does that missing piece affect their legacy? I mean, that's the question that's got everyone talking and debating right now.
It's a big one for sure.
Yeah, and former Pakistani all-rounder Mohammad Hafeez, he kind of just threw a whole bunch of fuel on the fire recently.
Oh, really? What'd he say?
Well, he had some thoughts about the 1990s Pakistani cricket team, and now you got to understand this team was packed with icons. Wasim Waqar, Younis, Inzamam ul Haq.
Yeah, these guys were like the heartthrobs of Pakistani cricket back then.
Exactly. They were massive.
Yeah.
But Hafeez's point is, despite all that individual brilliance, they never actually won a major ICC tournament.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to sting a little.
Yeah, and he argues that missing those big trophies, it puts a dent in their overall legacy, especially when you compare them to teams who did win it all.
I can see where he's coming from, but it's definitely going to ruffle some feathers.
Oh, it totally did. He even said, and I'm quoting here, they were megastars as players, but they couldn't inspire us by winning an ICC event.
Ouch. Yeah, that's going to get some people talking.
It definitely did. We've got articles, social media posts, all sorts of reactions from the cricket world, and that's what we're going to unpack today.
Should be interesting to see the different perspectives.
But yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, that word Hafeez used, inspire, it really jumps out at me.
Right. Does a team need a trophy to inspire a generation?
Right.
I mean...
Exactly. That's the big question. And to really get this debate, you have to understand what it's like to be a cricket fan in Pakistan.
Oh, yeah. It's next level over there.
It's not just a sport. It's like
Yeah.
woven into the fabric of the nation. It's almost like...
A religion.
It is. And with that level of passion comes this immense pressure to win, especially for a team that's full of stars.
For sure. So not winning a major tournament, even with a lineup as strong as Pakistan's was back then, it's seen as a huge letdown.
Like a national disappointment almost.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just about the players, it's about this whole collective feeling.
So it adds another layer to this whole debate about legacy and inspiration.
Definitely makes you think.
So how did those 90 stars react to Hafeez's comments?
Well, one of them, Waqar Younis, he decided to hit back on social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. Younis, he was a scary fast bowler back in the day.
For sure.
He posted a screenshot of his and Wasim Akram's combined stats from their test match careers.
Well, like their wickets and everything.
Yeah, over 800 wickets and a ton of runs between them. And his caption was short and to the point, guys from the 90s, hashtag not bad, hashtag good days.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty clear clapback. Like, hey, look what we accomplished. Don't underestimate us.
Exactly. He's basically saying, don't just focus on the trophies. Look at the bigger picture.
So what do you make of his response? I mean, is he just being defensive or is there something more to it?
I think it's a bit of both, honestly. There's definitely some defensiveness there, but I think he's also tapping into a bigger conversation about how we measure success in sports.
Right. Is it just about the trophies or are there other factors too?
Like individual brilliance, influencing the game, inspiring others. That's where this gets really interesting.
Because at the end of the day, those 90s players were insanely talented.
They were world-class and they achieved a lot.
So maybe it's not as simple as just saying they weren't successful because they didn't win a certain tournament.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this discussion so fascinating. It forces us to think beyond the simple metrics and consider the different ways a player or a team can leave a lasting legacy.
Yeah, it's more nuanced than just trophies or no trophies.
Right. And that's what we're going to dig into today.
Awesome. I'm ready to go deeper.
Let's do it.
So it really feels like we're getting to the heart of it. When we talk about a player's legacy, what are we really trying to measure?
It's a question that goes way beyond sports, Think about music art business. How do we even define success and lasting impact in any field?
Right.
It's so rarely a simple equation.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, look at someone like Van Gogh, right? He barely sold any paintings while he was alive, but now his work is considered priceless.
Exactly. Or how about a musician who doesn't top the charts, but their music goes on to influence generations of other artists? Their legacy isn't defined by just those traditional markers of success,
Like those quantifiable achievements.
Yeah. And I think that's why this cricket debate is so interesting. It makes us really think about those different dimensions of legacy and how much we value each one.
I mean, Hafeez seems to be putting a lot of emphasis on those tangible victories, those moments that are etched in history as concrete achievements.
Yeah, those big wins.
And there's no denying the power of those moments, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching Pakistan win the T20 World Cup back in 2009.
Oh, yeah. What a tournament.
The energy, the national pride, it was electrifying. You could just feel it in the streets.
Absolutely. Those shared experiences, they create such a powerful narrative.
It brings everyone together.
But is that the only way to inspire a generation? What about the individual stories? The resilience, overcoming obstacles, pushing boundaries. Those can be just as impactful even if they don't end with a trophy.
So it's more about the journey, the impact they had on the game, the ripple effect they created.
I think so, yeah. And it brings us right back to those 90s Pakistani players. They might not have won a major ICC tournament, but they were pioneers in so many ways.
For sure. Wasim Waqar, with his swing bowling, he revolutionized the art of fast bowling. I mean,
Absolutely, he changed the game. And Waqar Younis, with his raw pace and that aggression, they formed one of the most lethal bowling partnerships in cricket history.
with Akram, oh man, they were a force of nature.
They inspired so many young fast bowlers all over the world just by the way they played.
It makes you wonder, how much weight should we really give to those external markers of success? You know, the trophies, the medals versus the less tangible but equally important contributions to the sport.
Right. Is it all about winning, or is there more to it than that?
Like changing the way the game is played.
Exactly. Sometimes it's those intangible qualities, the passion, the dedication, the innovation that really sticks with people and leaves a lasting mark.
Yeah, it's like the difference between winning a game and changing the game forever.
And let's not forget about luck. You know, that plays a huge role in any sport.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A drop catch, a bad call from the umpire, the weather. I mean, all these unpredictable factors can completely change the outcome of a game or even a whole tournament.
A single moment can rewrite history.
It happens all the time. So if we judge a team's legacy just based on wins and losses, are we missing part of the story?
Right. Sometimes it's about how they played the game, their spirit, their impact on the sport as a whole that really defines them.
And I think that's something worth thinking about.
Okay, so we've talked about trophies, individual brilliance, the impact on the game itself. Seems like we're dealing with something much bigger than just wins and losses here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about the stories we tell about success. You know, what it means to have a real impact on the world. And those stories, they're rarely simple.
Right, it's not always black and white.
And even in a team sport like cricket, where the focus is usually on everyone achieving together, there's also that personal side to a player's legacy.
For sure. I mean, think about all the sacrifices they make, all those hours of practice, the dedication to reach that level. It's incredible.
It is, and then you see how those individual stories come together to create something bigger. You know, the team identity, a story for the whole nation.
It's like all these different threads being woven together.
Yeah.
You have individual journeys, team wins, tough losses, those moments of brilliance, and then the inspiration that gets passed down through generations.
It all adds up to something meaningful, and that brings us back to this debate about the 90s Pakistani cricket team. Were they really less inspiring just because they didn't win an ICC tournament?
Right. Or did they inspire in different ways? Through their skill, their competitiveness, how they held themselves even when they lost.
Maybe their legacy is about how they pushed the boundaries, you know, challenged how the game was played and paved the way for the next generation of Pakistani cricketers.
Yeah, they might not have gotten that trophy, but they definitely left their mark on the sport and in the hearts of their fans.
That's for sure.
And that's what makes this whole conversation so interesting. It makes us look beyond just the numbers, the wins and losses, and think about the deeper meaning of legacy.
Because in the end, it's not about the trophies you win or the awards you get. It's about the impact you have on other people, the stories you leave behind, and how you inspire future generations to chase their dreams, whether it's on the field or off.
That's a great way to put it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think we should all ask ourselves, what does legacy mean to us? What kind of mark do we want to leave in our own little corner of the world?
And how can we use our skills, our passions, our experiences to create something that matters, something that will last even after we're gone?
That's something to think about, and it goes way beyond cricket, you know.
It's about understanding that success isn't always simple, recognizing all the different ways someone can be inspiring, and trying to make the world a little bit better than we found it.
That's beautiful. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those big questions. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.